Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome into the Saints Training Camp show right here on CST for August 23rd. I'm Caroline Gonzalez, joined by our senior reporter for the Saints, John DeShazier. JD, two storms coming to the Gulf South this week. What are you hearing there on airline?
Well, I mean, the precautions are being taken, so you have to make sure that all measures are being evaluated, whether or not it's going to be an evacuation plan or whether or not it's going to be a plan to stay in place. And it looks like the Saints have properly covered all of those bases. Now, they'll get into it a little bit more in depth as we go along here, but it looks like they have all the bases covered in case there has to be an evacuation or in case they remain here in New Orleans.
Well, Sean Payton spoke earlier today about those plans, and we also hear from Baun on his experience in this first hurricane.
I met briefly with him after practice and told him that by the time we're back here for the walkthrough again in the PM, we'll have a little bit more information, and at that time begin to put a plan together, whether it's here or at a satellite location. Here, we gotta look closely where generators are, how it affects our facility, how it affects the indoor facility. When would the Superdome be ready with their turf surface? So really two options. One, obviously being here and how are we impacted here potentially with power outages. And then two, in the event that we would want to move or have to move, plan B.
Yeah, I've been here since late May, early June, and there was that tropical storm that came in. And when we were hearing about that, me and my fiance were going out to the grocery store, grabbing all the canned goods we could, and then we got home, and it was really just like it rained. So definitely preparing and just play everything by ear.
Well, Taysom Hill was welcomed back to practice today, a new dad, and it is his 30th birthday. Sean Payton spoke earlier today about how the new dad performed in practice today.
Well, it's simple. You know, the number one thing is, and it changes, is just sleep. And but he's excited. You know, we're excited for him. He and his wife both, I'm sure, are thrilled to death and anxious to get everyone home. I'm sure his last 48 hours, you know, probably he didn't get a lot of sleep. Today's his birthday as well. I told him today, I said, listen, you're practicing a little bit like you delivered the baby, but it was your wife. So, you know, there'll be some film for him to clean up some things, but it was good to have him back out there.
Well, we heard earlier in the week that Sean Payton would be mixing up some of the center battle, between Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. JD, what did you see out of that battle in practice today?
Well, I don't necessarily know that we should call it a battle. That probably is a little bit too much because Eric McCoy is handling the lion's share of those snaps at center. I know that Coach Payton said every second, third day or so, probably wanted to work in Cesar Ruiz, the rookie, and give him some snaps. And so today was that day where Ruiz finally got some of those snaps with the veterans on the first unit.
Payton spoke earlier today about seeing Ruiz at that position.
Well, look, we'll look at the film. So I haven't seen it yet, but our plan was to, you know, every second or third day, make a flip there. You know, there was a couple snaps today where, you know, that relative to the run game that he can clean up, shotgun snaps, but we'll look at the film and take a peek at it. So we wanted to do that both with he and Eric, and both of them are smart enough and good enough players where they can handle a switch like that, you know, during a couple-day stretch.
All right, don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saints Training Camp show right here on CST. When we come back, we'll hear from Saints quarterback P.J. Williams. Welcome back into the New Orleans Saints Training Camp show right here on CST. JD, I've heard a lot of reports about P.J. Williams standing out in camp this year. What have you seen out of him?
Well, the biggest thing with P.J. is the versatility that he offers in the secondary. We saw last year he can play corner, he can play nickel, he can play dime. In an emergency situation last year, he had to play safety, and he switched over to that position mid-game after only a few snaps in practice. So that's the value that he gives you, and that he can move all over the secondary and be effective.
PJ touched on that versatility earlier today.
I wasn't really sure, but I think after that second game that I played it, Coach was pretty much telling me this could be something that we do. So And then going through practice that next week is like, oh yeah, this definitely could be a position that I can be able to play or play a role in. That'll definitely make you focus more because playing corner and nickel, I've been playing that the last few years, so it's I pretty much know the ins and outs of that. But when you gotta learn a new position, you're more locked in the meetings, trying to learn new things, and I feel like learning safety and other positions, it just help you be able to understand the whole defense. So it's definitely, I feel like it's helping me lock in a lot more.
Well, secondary coach Aaron Glenn certainly likes having P.J. Williams in his arsenal. He spoke about that earlier last week.
Well, P.J.'s my Swiss Army knife, man. So P.J. has no choice but to have confidence, especially if you're going to play as many positions as he's going to play. And I talked about this in the offense. He's one of those, just like Malcolm, one of those positionless players that they have the intelligence to play a number of positions, but they also have the body type and the ability to do it. PJ can go play corner. We need him to play corner. And he has to be confident. He has to be confident in doing that. He can go play safety. We need him to play safety. He can go play nickel. We need him to play nickel. He can go play dime. We need him to play dime. And the good thing about PJ is he can go in, he can play those positions, and there's not a lot of hiccups, all right, because he understands the role, and he does a really good job of studying. So, I mean, PJ is one of my favorite players because of all that he can do, and he doesn't have an ego, man. He's willing to do whatever we ask him to do just to help us win. And, man, as a coach, you got to like players like that.
JD, we've seen P.J. Williams on the Saints roster for a few years now, but what is he doing this year that seems to stand out?
Well, he just is playing extremely well. And I mean, and this is in a secondary where several members have played extremely well so far in training camp, whether it be Marshawn Lattimore and his coverage, whether it be Jack Rabbit Jenkins, and Jack Rabbit seems to make a play per day on the ball, or whether it be C.D. Deuce. That's C.J. Gardner-Johnson, folks. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson has played extremely well in this training camp too. But P.J. Williams hadn't taken a backseat to any of those guys in this training camp.
Well, P.J. Williams spoke earlier today about how much he's standing out and what he's bringing to this team.
I feel like just that I can process things pretty fast, like just being smart, knowing the game, and also just my body type, being physical, being a bigger corner, like it's an easy transition to be able to play safety and being able to tackle, play physical and stuff like that. So just come out here, get better, making sure I'm learning new things, being able to go out there and make a few plays is always a good thing. So just coming out here, every year you want to come out there and make some plays and make sure you're getting better and doing what you can do to help the team or be able to challenge the players on the team.
All right, don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saints Training Camp show right here on CST. When we come back, we'll get more news and notes from our own John DeShazier. Welcome back, everyone, to the New Orleans Saints Training Camp show right here on CST. I'm Caroline Gonzalez alongside our senior reporter, John DeShazier. JD, rookie Zach Baun added to this roster this year. We heard that he was going to be involved a little bit in the pass rush, but it seems now he's playing a little bit more in space. What are you seeing out of the linebacker?
Well, as with most rookies, there's an acclimation process, and certainly his is no different. Whether it's off the field, learning to live by yourself and try to get along as an individual, as an adult for the first time probably, or whether it's on the field. And for Zach Baun, that means moving to the linebacker position. Even though he was listed at linebacker in college at Wisconsin, pretty much was a rush specialist. That's where he was an All-American with 12 sacks last year. So now he's up, standing up. He's off the ball. He's in coverage, and so he's adapting to that process.
Well, the rookie spoke earlier today about adjusting to the nuances of playing this position.
When I was in college, I was all on the ball, really seeing through my man on one side. And really, if you play on the ball, you got a 50-50 shot if the run's coming to you or away from you, and just a few number of drop angles, whether it's a curl flat or whatever it was. It was very, very not as much. Compared to stacking off the ball, you really got to open up your vision and see the full picture. Still getting used to that, and but each day I'm getting better and I'm getting more comfortable. The first walkthrough was really the only time that I in my life that I felt like in my heart, oh my God, I got these guys all around me, all these great players, and I was really just thrown right into the fire and forced to get used to the transition. And like I said before, just expanding your vision you really have to have big eyes because at the line of scrimmage, it's easy to see a guy coming right at you. But when you stack off the ball and things are crisscrossing and doing all sorts of things, you have to be able to diagnose what's going on and where the ball is at all times.
Well, JD, other than getting Taysom Hill back to practice, any other news and notes that you have from today?
Well, I think today we had our first official vet day, practice number 6 for the Saints, and Ryan Ramczyk as well as Drew Brees did not participate in this practice, just basically rest days for them. Also, Alvin Kamara didn't participate. He's got a little stomach bug, so hopefully he will feel better pretty soon. We saw Josh Hill back into some drills with the offense, and we saw Andrews Pete on the field again, although he did not participate, so we expect him to be back on the field, probably in some participation fashion in the near future, but we'll keep an eye on all of those things as we progress.
All right, well, that'll do it for today's New Orleans Saints training camp show right here on CST. We'll be back tomorrow, and of course, we'll keep an eye on those storms. Be sure to follow @Saints on social media for any updates. I'm Caroline Gonzalez. For John DeShazier, thanks for joining us.